It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Drum Rolls with Tracy Thornton. We've surveyed 10 of his drum rolls. We have another 10 to go. Robert Greenidge, Paradise Garden.
Okay, Robert Greenidge is probably one of the top 2 steel drum guys in the world. Arrangers, players. Him and a guy named Boogsy Sharp. They call Boogsy Sharp the Charlie Parker of Pan. Because he's just such a genius. Which I actually got to perform in Boogsy's band in Panorama in 2002. But Robert Greenidge, nobody knows this, he's actually Jimmy Buffett's pan player.
Oh, okay.
But you never know how good he is through Buffett. He is literally one of the best, one of the top 2 guys on the planet today playing. And he has a side project off Jimmy Buffett called Club Trini with Michael Utley, which is the keyboard player for Jimmy Buffett. And if you go to Buffett concerts, some guy, you might see the Club Trini guys go around in a little golf cart playing their music. But their first record, Heat, which is out of print now, had the song called Paradise Garden. And it's probably the most beautiful song I've ever heard. Songlines is one, but this, if I had to have one song on a deserted island, this would be it. And it is just... He's just amazing, and that song is just an amazing. So that was another breakthrough point for me when I heard that song. And that was probably 93 or 94 when I heard that song. So, But yeah, Robert Greenidge is the man, and it just goes to show that you don't have to show off every time you play. He could play a nice, simple melody or play with Jimmy Buffett and play Margaritaville, but no one would ever know that he could play anything ever on the planet. He doesn't let his ego do anything. He'll play it if he has to. But that was another turning point. And since then, I've gotten to be good friends with him, and he's just really cool. Steel drum band, the community is so small, so there's really no like rock stars of it. And he's just such a nice, humble guy too.
So an advantage that you have over other musicians is you actually get to perform with a lot of your influences.
Well, that was... it turned out that way. When I was playing drum kit, I was known around here as, this great drum kit player. I was a kid and yada, yada, yada. When I started learning this stuff, I was starting from scratch.
Yeah.
I never went to college, so I was like, well, if I'm going to succeed at this, I have to go to where it comes from. And you go to Trinidad, it's like if you want to be a star, you have to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And if you're on the right track, eventually you're going to meet your connections. I just went down there, Carpe Diem, got it tattooed on my wrist so I don't forget it. And, that was my dream, is to go down there and meet these guys and become not really friends with them, but, they end up becoming friends and having respect for the art form. And, but yeah, they're not like best friends. They don't like come spend the night at my house or anything, but, we all email each other every now and again. We're going to crash
at Tracy's.
Right. But here in Jamestown where I live, if you come on a given day, one of the top steel pan players in the world could be here if he's on tour in the country. You never know.
Oh, cool.
No one ever knows it. No one in my neighborhood knows me, but, they come through, and if they need a place to crash, sometimes they crash right here on this couch. That's happened. And nobody knows it. So Professor's been up here a couple of times in the past couple of years. So no one up here knows who he is.
Okay, it's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Drum Rolls with Tracy Thornton. The Ramones Blitzkrieg Bop.
Well, the Ramones, of course, is first punk band, and they started that whole scene. Blitzkrieg Bop was kind of like, their first anthem off their first record, and I just love the melody. I don't even understand the words to this day. But never... Anyway, I just love the tune. Simple, fast for the time. It was 2 or 3 chords, but I really liked the tune, and I actually liked it so much I did a steel pan version of it back in '94. I never put it on a record, but it's influenced me. I'm recording other Ramones songs on the steel pan.
Oh, wow.
And but the reason I like it so much is that I had that punk attitude, the speed, but they had so much melody in their music. So they didn't sound angry. They just... It still had a positive twist to it.
Yeah.
But they still had that energy, which I really liked. I don't, like Slayer's kind of angry, which I don't really like that much of the anger part of it.
Yeah.
But they still have that, like the steel drum 120 piece bands, they have that energy, but with this positive vibe to it. So it's very, Blitzkrieg Ramones, of course. What it's in a commercial now selling cell phones or something now. So Joey's rolling over in his grave for that. But anyway,
sold out. Didn't even know it.
That's right.
Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Drum Rolls with Tracy Thornton. I'm going to ask you to pronounce the next one.
I don't think I can. Sigrura Ali from Pixinguinha. And this actually was turned on to me by my friend Andy Norell, the steel panist we were talking about earlier. This is a song from South America, choro music. And it's just amazing music. It's music that is normally instrumental, and the main instrument in the music is like a mandolin type instrument. I don't know like the indigenous name for it, but it's just a lot of notes and a lot of key changes, and it's very challenging, but very interesting to listen to. And I'll see if I can play a little.
Okay.
Bit of it. I might mess up, but choro music. So I haven't played that in years, or never really.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of notes, and I fell in love with the music. I think it sounded beautiful on steel pan. Andy Norell's done some versions of some of these tunes on pan. And it really helped me want to try to achieve to get to the next level of playing, because you really have to have your technique and your chops down to execute the music, especially in an instrument that's round.
Yeah, and while we're talking about the instrument, would you tell us about the instrument?
Sure. The instrument, my particular instrument is a tenor pan. And they actually set it up in a circle of fourths and fifths. All tenor pans aren't like that, but this is becoming more the standard. It starts with middle C, that's my lowest note, and my highest note on the instrument is a second octave G. So if I go chromatic, my whole instrument, I can go up there with this one instrument. Now, of course, to get to the lower notes, you have to go to different instruments like the cello pans, the double seconds, the basses. But I really won't go through how it's made and all that too much, because you have to be more visual with that.
Yeah.
But it's set up in a circle of fifths. I think of my drum as a clock. There are all 12 notes on the rim. So I know at 6 o'clock, that's where my low C is. And if I go counterclockwise on the instrument, it goes up in fifths. So the fifth of C is G. So at 5 o'clock is G. 4 o'clock is D. 3 o'clock to me, how I think of as 3 o'clock is A. So when I learned in the pan, since I really didn't know how to read music, and before I knew where my notes are, I would know what 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock sounds like. And I knew if I played them together, I would have an F major triad. Now I'm learning a little bit more about theory, and I understand it a little bit better, but for years I just thought of this thing as a clock. I knew F sharp was 12. I knew that G sharp A flat was 9 o'clock over here, and or 10 o'clock, I'm sorry. And then that's my one octave, and then my second octave actually has the same pattern inside. So, and then my third octave is the same pattern, so it actually makes sense. So that's how mine's particularly set up, and that's becoming pretty much the norm these days. You can still go to Trinidad and go behind 2 or 3 or 4 different tenors, and the notes are in different areas, and this is the only one I can play. People are like, oh, can't you play them all? It's like, no, when you play another one, it's like learning a whole brand new instrument.
So it's a very personalized instrument.
Personalized. It's like if you were playing guitar and all of a sudden you went to another one and they had all the strings in a different order. And you have to learn how to play it that way. It's the same concept on that. So, but this is pretty much becoming a standard for tenors. So 8 times out of 10, this is what you'll see.